Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I am bringing you Louisiana style chicken and sausage gumbo, and I am seriously so pumped to share this with you. This is obviously something I grew up on and love eating and making, and literally just the smell reminds me of home, and I'm so excited to share with you how I do it. And I hope that you can do it for your friends and family too. Even if you don't live in the South, please try this recipe if you've never had gumbo. It really is good and really flavorful. Anyway, if you're new here, my name's Annalise and I am from the South. I'm from Louisiana, but I recently moved to Nashville, Tennessee with my husband, Zach. And I post recipe videos all the time based on my food blog, which is foodandfeastdaily.com. I also share lots of tips and tricks about entertaining and hosting, and I'm so happy to have you here. I would love for you to stick around, so please consider subscribing. And yeah, let me go ahead and show you how to make Southern Louisiana chicken and sausage gumbo. So I want to share with you what you need for this recipe. Seriously, it is so easy and so simple. Over here, I have some all-purpose flour and vegetable oil, and that is what you're gonna use to make a homemade roux. I like making my own homemade roux, but if you want to see a crock pot recipe using pre-made roux, I have done that before and it has turned out really good if you wanna have it cooking all day and you don't wanna leave something on your stove. Like this video so I know that you want to see that. I would love to share it with you. Here is everything you are gonna need for the gumbo. So first I want to say I'm using a rotisserie chicken for this gumbo, but you can definitely use a regular raw chicken that you boil yourself and get the chicken broth from that. That honestly gives you so much flavor, but I didn't have all day to make it, so I am just using a rotisserie, which will be just fine and give you really good flavor. I'm also using some smoked sausage, and this is just a brand from Kroger that I got in Nashville. So if you aren't living in Louisiana, I'm pretty sure you can find something like this in your local grocery store. I've tried this before, and it is really good. For the seasonings, I'm using some Tony Chachere's, which is just some Cajun seasoning. And then I also have some bay leaves back there, some granulated garlic, and then salt. You're gonna need a bell pepper, a yellow onion, some garlic, celery, and chicken broth. And that is literally all you need. These few ingredients give you the most amazing gumbo, and it is literally so easy and so delicious. For the first step, you just want to go ahead and cut all of your vegetables. So I'm chopping the bell pepper, the yellow onion, the garlic, and the celery. And I'm using 2 stalks of celery. You can use 3. You don't even have to use it at all. In the South, minus the garlic, it is called the Holy Trinity, and that is bell pepper, onion, and celery. I personally don't like celery, but the flavor it gives to soups is wonderful. It is life-changing. I promise. I don't like to eat it. I just kind of take it out once I serve myself the gumbo, but it really does change the flavor and make it so delicious.
It was so easy when we met. Future ahead of us, making memories. Our only hope is to forget and keep that passage closed for centuries. 'Cause I can't take it anymore. Forgetting what I'm fighting for. And your words just stop, don't hold me back. Don't hold me back. Just let me go, just let me go. I need to get it off my mind before it devours all my energy. So hard to leave it all behind. I write my pen down in a melody.
This is what reminds me of home, like these vegetables. This smells like home. But I wanted to say, I save all of the trash parts. So this is like the garlic peel and the celery, like the head and like the ends of it, and then the onion and literally everything. I save it, and then I have a bag in the freezer where I will add it to. So right in here, let me see. Yep, here it is. This is where I keep all of my frozen ends and random pieces, like of the garlic and of the onions and celery and bell pepper. Literally all of it's in here. And whenever it's full, I will make a pot of chicken stock. And I love doing that. I think it's so good. And honestly, it saves you money because you're gonna use the onions and the garlic and the bell pepper anyways. It saves you money. So I have a IGTV on my Instagram of how I do that. But yeah, so I'm going to toss that in the freezer. And now that all my vegetables are cut, I'm going to walk over here to my Dutch oven. So here is my Dutch oven. I like using a Dutch oven for literally everything. But first thing I'm gonna do is I am going to make my roux. And to do that, all you have to do is add in the flour and the oil. Once that is good, it will take about an hour. You can add in the vegetables. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that roux going so that we can get a move on this gumbo.
My heart is just another melody. So before I get over you, I'm gonna sing it now. Here's another melody.
Now that all of the flour and olive oil is in the Dutch oven, I'm just going to turn up the heat to about medium low, and I will show you the process. So I'm gonna show you the process of what this looks like. You just want to mix this all together for now. It's going to be kind of thick and it's gonna be like a paste, but that is exactly what you're looking for. So we put the heat on medium low. Right there, it's around a 4 if you have numbers. And you can see where it's like a paste right here. So we are just going to continuously stir this until it is completely thinned out and smooth, and then we will watch it minute by minute. We have some bubbles going on here, and I put my phone on a timer just to be able to time, how long it's taking me. But I wanted to show you, I've had the heat on obviously for about 5 minutes, and it's at around 4, like medium low temperature. And you can see that the whole entire pan has been heated through, and now the oil and the flour are cooking. That's the whole process. We are trying to cook the flour right now. This is the part where you really have to keep your eye on it because you don't want it to burn. So I turned down the heat just a tad bit more so that I can walk away from it for a few seconds. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and slice this sausage. I cut the ends off because I just really don't like them. They kind of weird me out. Sausage looks great. It is all sliced up and delicious. Now that my sausage is done, I'm gonna go ahead and start picking the chicken off of the bones of the rotisserie, and again, just making sure I keep an eye on the roux. Okay, my friends, so we are here. It is literally darkened. It has literally darkened so much. You can really tell in the color. It has been going for about 28 minutes, almost not 29. Guys, so it is ready. This is the exact color I'm looking for. It is dark and smooth and just wonderful. So now I turn down the heat and I'm going to grab our vegetables. We are gonna go ahead and pour these into the roux. I'm just gonna give it one last stir. And then we are just gonna go ahead and add in these vegetables. And let me check the timer for how long it took to get to the color that I'm looking for. Okay, so it took 41 minutes. Yes, I have a cracked phone. And I'm just gonna give this one last stir. And let's add in these vegetables. Toss that around. You're gonna notice that it all kind of becomes one, and there's not much liquid. You would think that there would be a lot of liquid left over, but there's not. So you just wanna make sure that everything is well combined. And we are just gonna let this cook down for about 10 minutes. These are so dark and perfect. I mean, that color is exactly what you're looking for. You can tell that it's thick and just perfect. So it's been sitting for about 10 minutes, and while it's on low heat now, I'm just going to move over to the side to this stock pot. You just want to pour in your chicken broth. So just pour that in. And you actually don't have to use a stock pot for this, but I'm actually going to add in the chicken bones from the rotisserie chicken for more flavor in here. And to me, that just gives it a lot more flavor. I have the chicken and the sausage, and Zach deboned that for me, thank you. And here I have all of the like bones and leftovers. Just dump that in, move that to the side, and I'm going to grab my gumbo spoon, Louisiana Roux spoon. So I'm really just going to kind of press it down. We're going to strain this once it's done. So you'll just kind of, obviously it's not completely submerged, and that is just because I'm only using 2 canisters. But I'm gonna turn the heat on high. We want this to boil, and then we'll turn it off and we'll cover it, and then we'll start adding it in to this deliciousness. But continue to stir this like every 2 minutes, making sure that nothing is getting stuck to the bottom. I'm going to just toss these in, yes, to let them have a good sear. Really, this is just gonna fry them up. You can add a little bit of oil if you want and then drain it when they're done. But I personally like doing this because I like the crunch that it gives, and the flavor is the absolute best. The sausage is looking great, y'all. You can hear it sizzling and see where it has browned. And the sausage is now in the bowl, and also our broth has come to a boil. Oop, getting kind of foggy. And I'm just checking on our vegetables and roux, just kind of making sure nothing is burning. And now I'm just using my stock pot that I talked about in my favorites video. This is from Target. If you are looking for one, it's in my Amazon shop, and that will be linked down below. But now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna move this to the sink, and you can pull up this first part and it will literally drain everything, and then I'm probably gonna run everything through a strainer also, just to make sure it gets all the little bits and pieces, because there's a lot of little things just floating around in there, and I wanna make sure that we get everything.
You can't keep holding on to your past. Yeah. Get out, get under, and just relax. And that's what my friends are telling me. I wish it was easy, but it's not easy.
Okay, so now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm just gonna pour little by little to add in the broth and kind of help everything combine. I will show you how I do it, but first things first, I'm just gonna go ahead and pour in a little small amount and just begin mixing that all together. So about half a cup. Just wanna pour that in, and you're just going to pour it in little by little so that everything can combine really well. All the broth has been added in, and now I'm going to add in the seasonings, and you can kind of see where the oil is on top, but towards the end of this cooking you will be able to kind of lift that and pull it all off. So for the seasonings, I'm gonna add in some garlic powder, some bay leaves, Tony's, and salt. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. Give that a stir. And before you eat it, we will take out the bay leaf. Don't worry, you don't have to eat that, I promise. And now I'm going to add in the sausage. So just lightly pour that in. I don't want all the oil to go in there, so I just kind of stopped it soon. And you can kind of see all the oil right there, but don't worry, you'll be able to get it off. The fat. Give that a stir. And now we will add in the chicken. All right, now we are going to bring it up to a boil. So I'm just gonna turn up the heat. And then once it's at a boil, we will cover it and let it simmer for about 2 hours. I wish that y'all could smell how good this gumbo smells. It is amazing. But anyway, it's now boiling, so I'm going to turn it down to a simmer. I'm gonna remove that. And we are just going to cover it. Perfect, and let that cook for about 2 hours.
I need to get it off my mind, before it devours all my energy. So hard to leave it all behind. I wrap my bed down in a melody.
Y'all, the gumbo is done and it smells so good. I am seriously so excited to fix myself the largest bowl of gumbo. I also wanted to note that in the blog post, I'll show you how to make the perfect rice. I use rice for my gumbo, but a lot of people in the South use potato salad. I don't have my potato salad recipe up quite yet, but it will be there soon. But for now, eat it with your rice, eat it with potato salad, however you like it. But please just try this recipe out. Let me know what you think. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.